Level 1. Script Kiddie. You're 15, maybe 16. You watched a video about someone accessing a school's Wi-Fi network without the password. It looked simple. More importantly, it looked like power. You download Kali Linux. You don't really know what it is, but the tutorial said to. You copy a command from a forum, paste it into a terminal, and suddenly you can see every device connected to your home network. Your parents' phones, the smart TV, the printer nobody uses. This feels enormous. You are not a hacker, not yet. At this level, the community has a name for you, Script Kiddie. You're using tools other people built to execute attacks you don't fully understand. You can run a pre-built DOS attack. You can deploy a phishing page template someone else designed, but you cannot modify them, you cannot troubleshoot them, and anyone who's been in this world for more than 6 months can tell immediately. The underground tolerates script kiddies the way any skilled profession tolerates complete beginners, with mild contempt and no respect whatsoever. But here's the thing that determines everything that comes next. Some people at this level get bored and walk away, and some people start asking one question. How does this actually work? That question is the only door that matters. Level 2. Gray Hat, the real education. You spent a year actually learning, not watching videos, learning. Python fundamentals, networking protocols, how data actually moves from one machine to another, what a buffer overflow is and why it works, what SQL injection exploits, and more importantly, why developers keep making the same mistake that makes it possible. You're on different forums now, places where questions that reveal you don't understand the basics are simply ignored. You learn to search before you ask. You learn to read documentation. You learn that the gap between running a tool and understanding a tool is the gap between a script kiddie and someone who can actually operate. At this level, you start finding real vulnerabilities, sometimes in systems you have no business being in, accessed out of curiosity, not malice. Sometimes you tell the company, sometimes you don't. Gray Hat is the name for this in-between state. You're not criminal, you're not authorized, you exist in a space where the law is unclear and your intentions are the only thing separating you from the next level. And then, after enough time, enough demonstrated skill, enough public work under your handle, someone messages you privately. They have an offer. Level 3. Black Hat, the line. The first payment is smaller than you imagined. A few $100s paid in Monero, a cryptocurrency specifically designed to leave no trace, for a package of credentials. Login access to a mid-sized logistics company's internal network. You found the vulnerability through a misconfigured VPN endpoint. You documented it cleanly, handed over the access, and walked away. You never found out what happened inside that network after you sold the door. You told yourself that made it better. You do it again, and the amounts grow. What you're doing now has a name in the underground, initial access brokering. You find unlocked doors in corporate networks and sell the keys to people who will use them however they want. The dark web has entire marketplaces built around this. They look like Amazon. Seller ratings, customer reviews, escrow services to prevent fraud between criminals. You set up a shop. The critical thing about this level, the thing people on the outside don't understand, is that you never have to see what happens on the other side of the door you sold. That distance is very deliberately maintained, because if you saw what happened on the other side of the door you sold, the math you've been doing in your head would stop working. Level 4. Ransomware operator. You get recruited into a crew, not approached directly, monitored first for weeks. Your public work studied, your reliability assessed through intermediaries who never identified themselves. By the time you receive the invitation, they already know almost everything about you. The most successful ransomware groups operate like software companies, developers who build and maintain the encryption tools, negotiators who handle communications with victims, infrastructure teams who manage the dark web leak sites, human resources essentially for onboarding new members. Some of the largest groups, Lockbit, Conti, Blackcat, employed dozens of people across multiple countries. Your role is technical penetration. You enter target networks, you move laterally, slowly, carefully, over days or sometimes weeks, mapping the full environment before anything is deployed, finding the backup systems, the redundant servers, the off-site storage, because when the ransomware runs, it has to hit everything simultaneously. Leaving one working backup destroys the leverage. The day it deploys, you are not in the building. You're in an apartment in a city with no extradition treaty, and somewhere in a corporate headquarters, every screen in the building goes dark at the moment time appears. Then, a timer appears. The average ransom demand from major groups in 2024 was $2.7 million. Your cut depends on your contribution. For a successful large-scale operation, it can reach 6 figures. You are now making more money than most people you will ever meet, and you have not left your apartment. Level 5. APT Operator, Nation State. This level doesn't recruit from forums. They find you through your signature, patterns in attacks, timing, tooling, target selection that intelligence analysts spend years tracking. And when a nation-state cyber division decides they want you, the approach is unlike anything you've received before. APT stands for Advanced Persistent Threat. It's the designation used by intelligence agencies for state-sponsored hacking groups, Russia's Cozy Bear, China's APT-41, North Korea's Lazarus Group. Some operators are direct employees of intelligence services, working in office buildings with salaries and health insurance. Others are contractors, private citizens who receive targets, execute operations, and receive payments through methods that cannot be traced to any government. Your targets are no longer corporations chasing ransoms. You are targeting critical infrastructure, power distribution networks, water treatment systems, military communications, the research databases of adversary nations' weapons programs. The tools available to you at this level are unlike anything the commercial underground provides. Zero-day exploits, vulnerabilities in widely used software that the manufacturer doesn't yet know exist, that cost millions of dollars and years of research to develop. Custom malware built for a single specific target and never reused. You use it once, because the moment it's detected, it's burned, and the intelligence services of the nation you hit spend the next 2 years reverse engineering every line of code you left behind. At this level, you are not a criminal in the eyes of the people who employ you. You are a weapons system. Level 6, the Zero-Day Broker. Above the nation-state operators, there is one more level. It has no official name, no forum presence, no verifiable identity. These are the people who discover vulnerabilities so fundamental, embedded so deep inside software used by billions of people, that governments pay 8 figures for the right to use them before the developer knows they exist. A critical zero-day in a major operating system or encryption protocol can sell for $5 to $20 million. The buyers are intelligence agencies, defense contractors, private surveillance companies who sell capabilities to governments that can't develop them internally. The brokers don't deploy these vulnerabilities themselves. They sell the blueprint. They let someone else build the weapon. They have no employees, no offices, no public identity. They operate from jurisdictions that maintain no extradition agreements with the countries whose agencies come looking. They are, for all practical purposes, completely untouchable.